Welcome to our first tutorial on Scratch 3. Today we're going to look at some of the simple controls and work towards creating a program in which we can use inputs to create a little drawing program. So, first things first, we have a cat in this space here. This space is called the stage. If you're familiar with previous versions of Scratch, it's very similar. This is where all the action happens. This is where your program runs. In this space here in the middle, this is a space for us to put all the scripts, all of the bits of code that we might piece together from these jigsaw puzzles at the side. All of the codes assigned to a particular sprite or to a background go in this middle section here. Then we've got these different blocks. All of these relate to different types of code, and we're going to start with events. Okay, so event, when something happens. So we're going to create a simple script to help our character move. Okay, so I'm going to click when something happens. I'm going to put when the up arrow is pressed, then I would like the character to point in a direction, and the direction I'd like them to point in is up. Okay, and then I would like them to move 10 steps. So let's just see that in action. When I press the up arrow, my character moves up. So what I'm going to do now is duplicate this, and I'm going to duplicate it again, and I'm going to duplicate it again just to save time. And I'm going to make sure that now when the down arrow is pressed, you guessed it, when the down arrow is pressed, then my character is going to move down. Okay, and when the left arrow is pressed, then my character is going to move, that's right, it's going to move left. And when the right arrow is pressed, my character is going to move right. So now I should have a character that moves about when I use the keys that I've specified. As an extra challenge, you could have your character move continuously, and you could use the up and down keys to just change the direction. Or you could somehow change the where the character is by using the something slightly different, like change X value by -1. See what happens when that happens. Okay, so that's another thing for you to explore. Now, we said today's lesson is going to be about drawing, making a program in which you can draw using different inputs. So we've got some different inputs here. But now we want to be able to do some drawing. So what we're going to do is we need to select along here, and this is a difference between the previous versions of Scratch, is you need to click on this button here to see some of the other extensions. And we're going to click on pen, because that's what we need. So we've got that extension there, it says pen. Okay, and what I'm going to do is events. When that is pressed, when I click on the green flag, so when my program starts, then I'm going to put the pen down. Okay, so let's just click on the green flag. Very simply, I've got a little program where I can draw a crude drawing of a robot, looks like. Okay, so it's a simple Etch-a-Sketch. Okay, so you can have a go and see what you could draw with that. But we want to improve our program even further. So once you've had a bit of a play around with that, what I'm going to do is have some extra inputs here. Okay, so what I'm going to say is when I press different keys, different things will happen. So when I press C, and this is an important one, I'm going to click on this here, it's going to erase all. So C is for clear. Okay, so I'm going to press C, boom, it's all gone. There we go. I could also have a different key for increasing the pen size, changing the color. We can have lots of different things here. So let's just have, when I press A, then we'll have the, we'll change the pen size, okay, by 1. Okay, so when I press A, I keep pressing A. Now when I try it out, you'll see that the pen size has got a lot bigger. Look at that. And then I keep pressing A. It's getting even bigger. Okay, so have a play around, see what sort of controls you'd like to have on your little drawing program. So let's have a look at a few other things you can do, some more advanced things you can do if you've mastered those basics and programmed your inputs. Now I'm going to have a random function. This is an important function in lots of computer programs, whether you're rolling a dice or whatever. And what I want to do is basically roll a dice, but with 50 different sides, and see which color it will be, because there are 50 different colors that I can program. So when I press the space bar, okay, I'm going to set the pen color to, instead of setting it to 50, I'm going to go on operators. I'm going to pick a random number between 1 and 50. Okay, so now when I press spacebar, okay, I press spacebar, see if it's going to work. Okay, oh, it's picked a random color. Oh, I'll press it a couple of times, and it picks a random color. Woohoo! Okay, so each time it's going to pick a random color between 1 and 50, completely random color, and each number corresponds to a different color, of course. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is you can have, when I use one input, I can have a whole little subroutine running. Okay, which means that I could press one button and it could make a particular shape. Let's see how that works. So I'm going to create a little subroutine that allows me to make a square. So when I press S, which stands for square, then my character is going to move forwards, not 10, he's going to move forwards 100 steps. He's going to then turn, remember how many degrees in the corner of a square? 90 degrees, there we go. And then he's going to move again, 90, okay, and then, oh, sorry, move 100, okay, and then turn 90, and so on and so forth. So here we go, a square's got 4 sides, so I'm moving 100, turning once, moving 100, turning 90 degrees, moving 100, turning 90 degrees, moving 100, turning 90 degrees. So I've done that 4 times. So I can do it like that, or if I was being really clever, what I could do is just get rid of all that. That's inefficient. And what I could do is just make sure I put it in a repeat block. Okay, so instead of doing that, all I've done, this is the same thing, but I'm just going to repeat that 4 times. Okay, so now if I press S, let's get rid of that old one. Don't need that anymore. When I press S, it just does this 4 times. Okay, so because there's 4 sides in a square, it just works. So now I've got my little character, and every time I press space, it gives me a random color, and every time I press S, it makes a little square. Okay, so see if you can create different subroutines by using that repeat function to create different shapes. See what you come up with.